Your brain is literally hardwired to keep you broke. While you're trying to build long-term wealth, your amygdala and other brain systems involved in threat and stress are busy reacting to a red stock market chart like something dangerous is happening right now. You see your portfolio dropping 10%. Your heart starts racing. You start checking the news. You open your brokerage account again. Then you ask yourself the question every investor eventually asks: should I just sell before things get even worse? And that is exactly where your ancient biology can collide with modern finance. Because the problem isn't necessarily that you don't understand money. The problem is that your brain was designed for survival, not compound interest. Today, we're going to dismantle the evolutionary biases that trigger financial panic, impulsive spending, and short-term thinking, and replace them with systems that help you stay rational when everyone else is losing their mind. Because once you understand what your brain is actually doing, you can stop fighting yourself and start designing your financial life around how your mind really works. For hundreds of thousands of years, human survival depended on immediate reactions. Imagine one of your ancient ancestors walking through a forest. They hear a sudden rustle in the bushes. They don't stop and calculate the probability that the sound is dangerous. They don't say, "I'll wait 20 years and see how this plays out." They react. Because if that sound was a predator, hesitation could have been fatal. Our ancestors were rewarded for noticing threats quickly, avoiding losses, conserving resources, and prioritizing immediate survival. Those instincts were incredibly useful. But there is a problem. The financial environment changed dramatically. The hardware running your instincts didn't. Today, there are no saber-toothed tigers waiting behind your brokerage account. But your brain still reacts strongly to uncertainty, potential loss, and perceived threats. A 10% market decline isn't physically attacking you. Your house hasn't disappeared. Your food supply hasn't vanished. You're not being chased through a forest. But emotionally, the experience can still feel extremely uncomfortable. And this is where Neuro-Economics becomes fascinating. Our financial decisions aren't made by a perfectly rational calculator. They're influenced by emotion, reward, uncertainty, memory, stress, social signals, and expectations about the future. So when the market suddenly crashes, your brain isn't simply asking, what is the mathematically optimal decision? It's also asking, am I in danger? And when fear becomes the dominant signal, doing nothing can suddenly feel like doing something wrong. That leads us to one of the most powerful biases in investing: loss aversion. Humans tend to experience losses more intensely than equivalent gains. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, you make $1,000. In the second, you lose $1,000. Mathematically, they're simply opposite outcomes. Psychologically, they don't necessarily feel equal. The loss can feel much more painful. And that creates a dangerous situation for investors. When markets are rising, everyone feels like a genius. People talk about their gains. They check their portfolios constantly. They start imagining what their money could become. But when markets fall, suddenly the same investor who is excited about long-term growth starts questioning everything. Maybe this market is different. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should sell now and buy back later. And that last thought sounds rational. But it creates one of the biggest traps in investing. Because selling during fear requires you to make another decision later. When do you get back in? And that decision is usually even harder. You might tell yourself you'll buy when the market feels safer. But markets don't usually announce when the danger is over. By the time confidence returns, prices may already be much higher. So the investor who sold because they wanted to avoid further losses can end up missing the recovery. This is how a temporary decline can become a permanent financial mistake. And then there's another biological problem: present bias. Your brain naturally places greater value on rewards you can experience right now than rewards that exist somewhere in the distant future. Think about it. Would you rather have $100 today or $120 1 year from now? The financially rational answer might depend on the circumstances, but emotionally, the immediate reward feels incredibly attractive. Now apply that to your entire financial life. You can invest $500 today and potentially allow it to compound for decades. Or you can spend that $500 on something that gives you pleasure immediately. The vacation feels real. The new phone feels real. The expensive dinner feels real. The future portfolio balance doesn't. That's the problem. Your brain can see today's reward. It cannot emotionally experience the financial freedom you might have 20 years from now. This is why building wealth can feel boring. You're sacrificing something visible today for something invisible in the future, and your brain wasn't necessarily designed to love that trade. In ancient environments, tomorrow was uncertain. Resources were limited, immediate consumption could be rational. But modern investing rewards patience. That creates a massive mismatch between ancient instincts and modern wealth building. And social media makes this even worse, because you're no longer comparing yourself to the people around you. You're comparing yourself to millions of people displaying their best financial moments online. One person made a fortune trading stocks. Another claims they doubled their money in 6 months. Someone else bought a luxury car. Someone is showing a screenshot of a huge portfolio gain. And suddenly, your slow, boring index fund strategy feels like failure. Your brain starts looking for stimulation. You start chasing returns. You take more risk. You abandon the plan. And this brings us to the volatility trap. Imagine your investment portfolio falls 8%. You check it. Then you check it again. Then you open the financial news. You see headlines predicting a recession. You check social media. Everyone is panicking. Now your stress increases. So you check the portfolio again. The cycle becomes market drops. Fear rises. You seek information. Information increases emotional stimulation. Stress rises. You make a decision. And because that decision was made under emotional pressure, it may be completely different from what you would have chosen when you were calm. That's why one of the most important principles in behavioral finance is this: don't design your financial plan for the person you are when everything is going well. Design it for the person you become when everything is going wrong. Because it's easy to say you're a long-term investor during a bull market. The real test comes when your portfolio is falling and every headline is telling you the world is ending. So how do you fight biology? You don't rely on willpower. You build systems. First, automate your regular investments. Automation removes a decision from your brain. You don't have to wake up every month and ask whether you're emotionally comfortable investing. The system does it for you. Second, establish an asset allocation plan before volatility arrives. Decide in advance how much risk you're willing to take, because making a risk decision during a crash is completely different from making it while you're calm. Third, create a predetermined rebalancing schedule. Instead of constantly asking whether the market is going up or down, decide when you'll review and rebalance your portfolio. The goal isn't to predict every move. The goal is to follow a process. Fourth, reduce unnecessary exposure to financial noise. You don't need to know what the market is doing every 5 minutes. Constant information doesn't necessarily create better decisions. Sometimes it simply creates more opportunities to make emotional ones. Fifth, build an emergency fund. This one is extremely important. Imagine the market crashes at exactly the same time you lose your job or face a major unexpected expense. If you have no cash reserves, you may be forced to sell investments while they're down. An emergency fund creates a buffer between your short-term problems and your long-term investments. And finally, write down your financial rules while you're calm. Write down what you'll do during a market decline. Write down how often you'll review your portfolio. Write down what would actually cause you to change your investment strategy. Because when fear arrives, you don't want to invent a plan. You want to follow the plan you already created. Think about it this way. Your brain is incredibly powerful. But powerful doesn't mean perfectly adapted to every environment. A smartphone can have incredible hardware, but if the software is outdated, performance suffers. Your brain is similar. The instincts that helped humans survive thousands of years ago can sometimes interfere with decisions in a world of stocks, bonds, retirement accounts, inflation, algorithms, and instant financial information. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. The problem is that the environment changed. We now live in a world where financial markets operate almost continuously, information travels instantly, and every price movement can be pushed directly into your pocket. And every notification is another opportunity for your ancient threat detection system to react. This is why financial success isn't simply about knowing what to buy. It's about understanding why you behave the way you do when your money is on the line. Because the biggest threat to your wealth isn't always a market crash. Sometimes it's what you do during the crash. It's selling because you're scared. It's buying because everyone else is excited. It's spending because you want the reward today. It's constantly changing strategies because you're bored. And it's abandoning a good plan because your brain demands immediate certainty. The solution isn't to become emotionless. That's impossible. The solution is to build a financial system that doesn't require perfect emotional control. Automate what you can. Create rules before the crisis. Reduce unnecessary noise. Keep enough cash for emergencies. And give your long-term investments the time they need to compound. Your greatest investing advantage may not be the ability to predict what the market does next. It may be the ability to prevent yourself from sabotaging what you've already built. Successful investors don't necessarily have calmer brains. They build calmer systems. And that's the real lesson of neuroeconomics. Building wealth isn't just about understanding money. It's about understanding yourself. Because once you understand your biases, you can design around them. Once you understand your emotions, you can stop letting every emotion become a financial decision. And once you build a system that works even when you're afraid, your financial future no longer depends entirely on how you feel today. If this video changed the way you think about your financial decisions, hit the like button and subscribe to Wealth Strategist for more videos about money, investing, behavioral finance, and the psychology behind building lasting wealth. And tell me in the comments, what's the biggest financial decision you've ever made because of fear, impatience, or emotion? Because your answer might reveal more about your financial future than you think. This is Wealth Strategist, where we don't just study money. We study the decisions that make money grow.